Today we're going to be reviewing my 2020 Mustang. Had it for just about a year now, so I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what it's like. Now this is a 2020 performance pack, and it also is a 401A, so it has a digital dash. Interior wise, after about a year, there's no complaints I have on this car other than sometimes when you wash it, some of these crevices, like right under the mirror towards like the puddle light, and pretty much every little crack from like the wing, no matter how much you dry it, even with a blow dryer or whatever, it still will leak water somehow. Basically just meaning, like, you can see actually one of the tricks, I know you can't really see it on camera, but you can see one of the dripping spots. Now I may also be a little biased, but I think when there is sunlight hitting this paint, I think this is magnetic metallic, but it has got to be one of the most beautiful paints that Ford has to offer. There's so much glitter to it, and at nighttime it's pretty dark too, so it's can't really tell what color it is. The car is completely bone stock in the powertrain department. The only powertrain mod would be a catback, but that's it. So far all I've done is cosmetics. Like, I've got Euros, I've done a few little like logo changes and stuff. I got new wheels, and I also painted the calipers. I already have a front splitter from Street Arrow. Had some issues with shipping, so I'm still waiting on like my third one to get here because they've all been damaged when I got them shipped. Now, plans for this car, honestly, it's never gonna end what I want to do. For sure the next thing I do is get rid of this monster truck fitment. Doing coilovers, probably gonna do BC Racing coilovers just because I don't want to spend too much money on it right now. Eventually it's gonna all get changed when I turn this into a drag car. The trunk space on this car is actually kind of insane. There's a little button down there. It's kind of insane. Now, I have a lot back here. I've got my wash bucket. I have a whole bag of golf clubs, and it goes pretty far in there. So you can fit a lot of stuff back here. Yeah, mine's a little dirty. I also have the Beano sound system, so I have the sub. I don't know if you can see, but a Hawk actually just landed up there. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's got the RTR front grille, and not a whole lot done to the exterior, to be honest. It's just kind of how it came. As I said earlier, it is bone stock, so I haven't changed anything in here other than adding a JLT catch can, oil catch can, because these do have a little bit of oil that blows into the intake manifold, so that's always a good mod to have just for peace of mind. Probably looking at like 650, maybe 700 wheel. It's still a daily driver. I don't have enough money for another car right now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get to the interior of the car, because I think this is honestly probably one of the best interiors you can get on a car around this price range. It comes with leather seats, heated and cooled. I also have the digital dash from the 401A package, and I've added some stuff like the steering wheel. I've added some carbon up there. Overall, this thing is probably one of the nicer interiors you can get. That's just my camera bag. Apple CarPlay, everything you want. The sound system's pretty good. As you can see up there, the Beano sound system. We'll go ahead and just get a warm start on this. Sounds pretty good. But yeah, so you can't really see this screen because it's flashing through the LEDs, but it's solid on my end. Now, I've added a few things to the interior. Like, I did a Starlight headliner. I don't know if you can see it that well. That was a pain in the ass to put in, but it's in now, and it's definitely worth it. I've also done some carbon. Like, you can see, kind of put this just around here. I thought about going ahead and do the full thing. There's a forged carbon piece here, but you can't really see it. Now, this car does come with a ton of features for what it is. The windshield wipers are automatic, so they sense the rain and either will turn on or go quicker if it's more rain, all type of that. There is lane assist on this car. There is adaptive cruise control. It's got just about every amenity for the perfect daily driver. You also get things like the garage home buttons up here. Just, those are simple things that you don't think about, but when you have them, it's actually really nice to have them. I wired in a radar detector to the mirror, so that's another worth it purchase. That thing saves some money. I do think that one of the best features of the actual car is the digital dash. you can go in and change. Like I have the valved exhaust, so I can change it. I can't really rev it because I'm at my apartment, so can't really piss off them. But you have your track apps, just like timers, line lock, and all that. This is something I actually added with Forescan. It's just a shift indicator, so like it'll either flash up here or it'll have a flash down here and kind of tell you when to shift. You can also change your gauges. So right now I have it to air fuel ratio, my oil pressure, and my trans temp, because we'll get to that. But you can also change the appearance. Like right now I have it in track mode. Here is normal, like your generic cars, gauge cluster, and here is sport. Sport is just kind of a mix between the both. This one's all right. I tend to change them quite a bit. Just run with one for like a couple weeks and then change it again. You can also change all the colors. I have mine to purple right now. I like purple. I think it looks good. These will also light up in the color that you pick down here. You can even change it, but right now they're white because it's daytime. So is lighting that goes in down here. None of that's on right now just because it's, well, still daytime. There's also lights that go into the door handles. There are lights in the cup holders. There's lights pretty much everywhere in here. The ambient lighting, you can change the color and all of it. Now, getting to the actual powertrain part. The 5.0, zero complaints with it. Absolutely love it. Love the way it sounds. The only complaint I have with my 5.0 is that when you drain the oil, it has 10 quarts and that shit comes out quick. So if you don't have a big enough pan, you're kind of at a loss for a little bit if it starts pouring out too quick, which I've learned my lesson, so I bought a bigger pan to change my oil with. But yeah, you heard that right. 10 quarts of oil goes into the 2020 Plus. I don't know exactly when they changed it. They also put 5W20 as the new oil, which I do know they did that for emissions regulations. Now, I ended up changing back to 5W30. A lot of people tend to recommend you to do that if you kind of beat on your car sometimes. And obviously when you go boosted, you up that even more. You can either go 5W50 or a whole list of different things. Everyone tells you a little bit of different stuff, but right now I'm just running 5W30 and everything else has been great in the actual motor. Now the transmission, that little guy right there. It is probably one of the quickest shifting transmissions I've ever been in, other than my friend's GT500, but well, that DCT is kind of crazy. Now, if you were to ask me today, what should you get if you were getting a new Mustang, either the MT82 or the 10-speed? Honestly, I would definitely recommend the 10-speed if you live in a city, but if you're living out in the middle of nowhere and you're okay with eventually having to rebuild your transmission, I'd probably say go MT82. But if you're doing any sort of racing and trying to go fast as possible, I would recommend the 10-speed. It is super quick. It does take a long time to warm up. That is my biggest issue with this transmission, is it takes forever to warm up. I could drive probably 20 miles and this still not be out of the blue. But once it is warmed up, shifts great. Sometimes the cold, it'll shift really harsh, 3 to 4th. I know the F-150 10 speeds have a lot of issues with that too. That transmission is also really noisy, so you'll hear almost like a whine, especially at low speeds, probably about up to 30 miles an hour. It's definitely loud, and if you look it up, it is a common thing with the 10 speeds. It's supposed to be normal. Ford even released a statement about it. But yeah, other than it being noisy and taking forever to get warmed up, this transmission has been great to me. I do know I will build it in the future just to hold a little extra more power. I do plan on doing some drag racing eventually. And when I plan on drag racing it, I'm definitely gonna try to keep the 10 speed. I saw one of these pushing out about 1,700 wheel horsepower with this company. I think it's RSA Race Solutions or whatever it is, RSA Race, something like that. Anyway, they build a crazy 10 speed. And I know a lot of guys go TH400, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to stay 10 speed as long as possible, even if it is a little more expensive. Not a whole lot of people have them in drag applications, and I just kind of want to be that guy that has something a little different than everyone. But yeah, after putting about 20,000 miles on this car in almost a year, I do drive a lot. So I've put a ton of miles on this car and I've had really zero huge complaints with it, no major issues. I absolutely love this car. I would recommend it to anybody who has enough money to go ahead and get you a Gen 3. It is super nice, comfortable. Yeah, like I said, I've had zero complaints with this car. Absolutely love it. Recommend this platform to almost anybody. And it's honestly probably one of the cheaper platforms to go higher horsepower. Especially I've heard the LT4 platform is super expensive to get power out of. Really all you need on this is boost, which I'm going centrifugal, fuel, and that's about it, honestly. Other tiny mods like oil pump gears and just little stuff. So if you are in the market for one, I would definitely recommend trying to get a Gen 3 with the 10-speed. And if you can, try to get a performance pack as well. It's a lot of extra goodies on it. Now, if you're going for like comfort, I would try to go ahead and go for a 401A car. It's super nice when you're inside. Even a 400A car, which is just the same thing without the digital dash. I'll just start posting here, so if you want to see some more videos out of here, just leave a like, maybe subscribe. But yeah,